In this video, I will give you a complete and detailed walkthrough of this Google AI Studio platform. And we will start with very basics like what is this platform, and then we will cover each and every functionality which is present on this platform. And since there are multiple functionalities and configurations present on this platform, so in this particular video, I will touch upon each of these so that you will have a broader understanding about this platform. And after that, I will bring up a separate and dedicated video for each of these functionalities and configurations along with the practical hands-on, and there we will discuss these things in detail. So if you are really interested in these things, then I would advise you to subscribe the channel and stay tuned for further videos. Now to access this AI Studio, you just need to search for this Google AI Studio, and you need to click on this particular link. And you will land on this type of interface. Also, you would need to sign in using your Gmail account. I have already done that. Now let's begin with what is this AI Studio first of all. So this is a platform provided by Google where we can try out different prompts for our use case with multiple models and different configurations. And once we are confident about those settings and the prompt, then we can get the code from here and integrate that in our application. So if I click on this Python, so you can see these many languages are currently supported by this platform, and you can switch to any other language on which you are working on, and then you can refer this particular code from here. So I will close from here for now. Now from this option, this create prompt, you can provide any prompt to a model. So let's suppose I am asking what is the capital of India, and let's submit this. So it gave us the answer. The capital of India is New Delhi, and currently it is using this particular model. So Gemini 1.5 Pro, it has used this particular model to give this answer. So I'll come back to this model part in a while. So now the system instructions, let's talk about this. So from this system instructions, we can set the tone or the behavior of our model. So let's say for this prompt itself, if I say give the response in brief, okay, and if I submit this prompt again, so if I edit this and then submit again, so you can notice we just got New Delhi instead of that entire line. So it gave us the response in brief. So this is how through system instructions we can set the tone and the behavior of the model. Now let's talk about each option which is present in the right panel here. So I'll walk you through the each option which is present here. So first one is this model. So if I click on this drop down, then you would find the Gemini 1.5 models here. Then below this some preview models are there, and below this the Gemma models are there. So let's talk about these one by one. So first one is this Gemini 1.5 Pro, and these are the some details about this particular model. So this Pro model is the most efficient model among these three in terms of the performance and the quality, and that's why this is the costlier model among these three models. So this is the information regarding the price. So if you are using tokens less than 128k, then this is the price for the input prompts, and this is the price for the output tokens. So this price is for the 1 million tokens actually, and if you are using more than 128k tokens, then this is the price for input and output tokens. Now this particular model is best for if you have a long context use case, or if you have a use case of complex reasoning or complex tasks or the math reasoning, then this is the best model for that. And these are some use cases like reason, it can reason over 100k lines of code, or it can synthesize 400 podcast transcripts. So these are some of the use cases where you can use this Gemini 1.5 Pro model. Now this is the knowledge cutoff. So it has knowledge till September 2024. So if you ask anything which happened after this particular time, then you might get a wrong answer or it can deny that. So now this is the rate limits. So this is the rate limit for the free tier. So you can query for 2 requests per minute or the 50 requests per day in the free tier plan. But if you are using the paid plan, then you can go up till 1000 requests per minute. Now let's talk about the next model. So if I hover over this Gemini 1.5 Flash, so this is the information about this Flash model. So here you can see the price is lesser than the Pro model, and this is best for image understanding, video, or the audio understanding, and these are some use cases. So this flash model is good when you want a balance between cost and performance. And here you can see the rate limit is also increased. So in the free tier you can hit 15 requests per minute and the 1500 requests per day. And for the paid model it can go up till 2000 requests per minute. Now the Flash 8B model, so this is the lightest version among these three. So you should use this Flash 8B model when you have the high frequency tasks or the low intelligence tasks. So here also it is written, it is best for low latency tasks. And here also you can see some use cases for this Flash 8B model. Now let's talk about these preview models. So what are these preview models first of all? So preview models are those which are not ready yet for the production release, and the Google team wants some feedback or they want to test some advanced features in these models. So in those cases they put these models as the preview models, and we will talk about these models in detail in the upcoming dedicated videos. Now at last we have these Gemma models. So these are the open source models, so which means you can even download these on local, or maybe you can fine tune them and train them further, or even use it directly for your use cases. Now next is this token count. So each model supports a upper limit for the context window. So for this 1.5 Pro, this 2 million tokens is the upper context window. And if I change this model, let's say to 1.5 Flash, so as you can see, the upper token limit is changed now. So now what is this token count? So this token count keeps track of the tokens which we have consumed in the current session. So for example, in this particular session, we have consumed 19 tokens till now. So which includes the system instructions, this input prompt, and this output response. So now let's say if I say what is the capital of USA. So you would see this token count is increased now. So previously it was 19, now it is 27. And when I would hit enter, then it would increase furthermore because it would include the output response token as well. So this is the place from where you can keep track of the tokens which you have utilized in the current session. Now the next thing is this temperature. So this value can vary from 0 to maximum 2. So through this configuration, we can control the flexibility and the creativity of the model. So if we keep this value lower, then the response would be more consistent, which means that it will follow the rules and instructions which we have provided. But if we keep this towards the high side, then it will generate more creative and the flexible answers. So in case we want to automate something in our application, then we should keep this very low, like 0.2 or 0.3, so that the answer would remain consistent. Now let's talk about different tools. So these are some tools which are present in this platform. So first one is this structured output. So if you want to generate the response in the structured format like the JSON format, then this is the option you should enable from here. So if I enable this and if I click on this edit, then this is the response it will look like. And from here, this visual editor, we can add one more property which we want in our response. So we will see the entire practical in the dedicated video, and for now I will click on this close. Now the next one is this code execution. So if you want to execute some code in the process of getting your response from the model, then this is the option you should enable. Now the next is this function calling. So this function calling gives us the functionality so that our model can interact with external tools and data sources apart from the pre-trained information. So this is the purpose of this function calling. Now the next one is grounding. So if you enable this option, then your results will be grounded with the Google search results, which means that your response will be more latest and accurate because it will include the Google search results as well while generating the response. And for now, I'll just close it from here. Then there are some advanced settings. Let's talk about these now. So first one is this safety settings. So if I click on this edit safety settings, so here you would find these many factors on which we can configure and restrict our responses. and this feature helps us to prevent the harmful or the inappropriate content. So you can set these factors according to your use case. Now the next is this add stop sequence. So through this option we can make the model stop generating the output. So you can think of this as a custom end of sequence or the end of response signal to the model. So this is useful when you want to prevent any loops or the repetitive generation. So let me give you one quick demo. So if I add here 9 and in the prompt if I say like write counting from 1 to 100 and if I submit this prompt, so as you can see it started from 1 but stopped after 8. So I know this is not a practical use case which you can follow, but I just wanted to give you an idea how this works. Now the next one is this output length. So through this option we can control the maximum number of tokens in the response. So for example, if I change this to 10 and in the prompt if I say something like write a paragraph on air pollution and if I submit this, so as you can see here it stopped immediately after 10 tokens. And the last one is this top P option. So through this configuration we can make the text generation less predictable. So if we keep the value low, then the response will be more focused and predictable, and on the other side if we keep the value high, then the response will be more diverse and creative. So we should try out different values of this, and according to our use case we can finalize the value. Now to reset all these settings we can click on here, so it will reset all the default settings. Now let's talk about the options which are present in the left panel. So first one is this create prompt which we have already seen. Then we have this stream real time, and here we have these three capabilities: the talk to Gemini, then show Gemini, and share your screen. So first one is this talk to Gemini, and from this option we can do a real-time audio conversation with the Gemini model. And do note here that we can use only this Gemini 2.0 Flash experimental model only. And if I click on this drop down, then also you can see we have this option only. Okay, so now the next thing is this show Gemini. So through this we can use our webcam and we can get a real-time feedback for anything which we show through the webcam. And the third capability is this share your screen, and through this option we can share our screen and get the help of Gemini model in whatever task we are working on. So this is like a personal assistant which can guide us in whatever task we are doing. So we will see the detailed live demo for each of these in the separate videos. So stay tuned for those. Now the next is this starter apps. So here also we have three capabilities of Gemini models. So first one is this spatial understanding, where we can upload any image and get the spatial analysis on that image, and then we can ask any question regarding the image, like where a particular thing is present in that image. So this is just one example, but you can do many things. Now the next is this video analyzer, and from this option you can analyze any video and ask any information from that particular video, and even you can get the summary of the video. And the last is this map explorer, and from this option you can explore places in the world and ask anything about those places with the Gemini models. So I am just giving you brief introduction to each and every option. So as I said, we will see these things in detail in the upcoming videos. Now the next is this tune a model. So through this option we can tune any model, and after that we can use that tuned model for our use case. Now the next thing is this library, where we will have all the saved prompts. So from here we can quickly navigate to any of the previous prompts, and from here we can even delete any prompt. Now from this prompt gallery you will get multiple predefined prompts, so which we can use as it is, or we can also edit according to our use cases. So for example, let's say this is the recipe list. This is one prompt, and it will list down all the recipes in JSON format. So let's click on this. So this is how it will load. So this is the prompt and this is the response. So from here we can edit the prompt if we want, and we can submit the prompt. So this is how we will get the response in the JSON format. So like that you can try out different prompts from this prompt gallery, and you can even edit or use as it is. And here you can access the API documentation as well. And on this page, this is the sample code which are present in the Python, Node.js or the REST, which is nothing but the curl request. So you can refer these code from here in case you want to integrate these models into your application. Now the next thing is this developer forum. So if I click on this, so this is the developer forum where let's suppose you have any suggestion or feedback, or even if you are facing some issues with anything on this Google AI Studio, then this is the place where you can reach out. And the next thing is this changelog. So whatever new features they are launching regarding this Google AI Studio, they will add those things in this changelog. Now the last thing is this get API key. So if I click on this, then you will get something like this. So let's say if you want to call these models through APIs, then you would require this API key, and you can create that API key from here. So you just need to click here. Then this type of pop-up box will come up, and here you will have to just give the Google Cloud project, and that's it. You are ready to use the API key. So I'll create a detailed video on this, how to create this. And after that, we will also create multiple end-to-end projects as well. So if you are interested to learn and use this Google AI Studio, then do subscribe the channel and stay tuned. Let's catch up in the next video.